walking through right now, sending the National Guard into Chicago or New York City or LA or other cities that aren't DC. So I mentioned Chicago. I mentioned where all the shootings, all the violence takes place. It's on the South Side that has become a gigantic drug hub for the cartels, where gangbangers in Chicago shoot each other as fast as they possibly can. If you would like, shoot, I don't even know where it is. Never mind. I was about to try to point you to a documentary. There are several out there you can watch on the gang violence in Chicago. I would encourage you, just if you have a little time, get past the headlines. Maybe instead of doom scrolling social media tonight, if you have a little extra time, go look one up. I'm sure they're on YouTube or Netflix or Amazon. Go look one up. And what you'll see will be awful and frankly heartbreaking and horrifying. Legions of young black men who will never see the age of 25, and they all know it. They all know they're going to die. They will deal drugs in their gang and for their gang. They will kill as many of the rival gangs as they possibly can, and they themselves will be killed long before they reach the age of 25 or 30, and they all know it. They all do. You'll see video of them cooking up their product in their apartments, putting on ski masks, speaking English allegedly, but it's hard to understand them. You'll get to take tours through the South Side of Chicago, and if I were to blindfold you and tell you I was taking you over to some desolate ground in Afghanistan and ripped the blindfold off your head and drove you through the South Side, you would never look and call me a liar. You would think, oh yeah, this is about what I figured it would look like. Windows blown out. It's awful. Awful. A war zone. And that's where the shootings happen every day. The murders happen every single day. Now, for the other part, and this is the big part. Donald Trump and the National Guard have been able to secure Washington, D.C. because the National Guard is able to supplement a police department that is now essentially under the command of the federal government, because Washington, D.C. belongs to the federal government. Think of Washington, D.C. essentially as a big army base. I know it's not, but think of it like a big army base. And at some point in time, the army said, well, you know, you can rent out some space and stuff. You want to do some Airbnb stuff or whatever, that's fine. Rent it out. I mean, we'll let you run it for a while. And then the army comes in, doesn't like how you run it. Well, it's their base. If they want this here, it's going to be there. That's how the federal government's relationship with D.C. is. It belongs to the federal government. Therefore, the federal government has the authority to command it. And the mayor of D.C., who's a scumbag communist, that Bowser, she was the one writing Black Lives Matter in the street. She knows it. That's why she has to give press conferences. Well, I mean, crime is down. There really aren't any murders anymore. She has no choice. But that is not the case in Chicago. Chicago does not belong to the federal government. New York City doesn't belong to the federal government. LA, Miami, Seattle, Portland, Milwaukee, Detroit, pick your city. American cities outside of Washington, D.C. do not belong to the federal government. And in fact, a lot of people don't understand the concept of jurisdiction. The federal government, in a lot of ways, has no authority in those places. So, well, why not just bring in the National Guard to do what they're doing in D.C. to supplement the police department? Well, that would work if you have a police department that can be supplemented. The Chicago Police Department is completely controlled by the communists who run the city of Chicago. This guy, not Donald Trump, not the federal government, this guy calls the shots in the Chicago Police Department.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people?
What orders do you think he's going to give the Chicago Police Department when the National Guard come in to supplement them and help them fight crime? What orders? The National Guard. They're in Washington, D.C. right now. Let's say they go to Chicago. What do you think they're going to be doing, and where do you think they're going to be doing it? Going to put them in the South Side? The war zone? Okay. What are their rules of engagement? Did they have live ammunition? Just asking serious questions here. I'm not saying don't send them. I want to continue to repeat that. I'm not saying allow our cities to go to crap. I'm not saying don't send them. I'm saying don't think for a moment that the ease with which they were able to secure Washington, D.C. translates to all the other cities in America we want cleaned up that are not under federal control. And by the way, Donald Trump is no idiot, and the people around him, they're not idiots either. Why do you think they haven't gone in yet? Why do you think he answered like this today?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look.
We're going in. He's been saying it for weeks. We're going in. We're going to go in. We're going in. Not yet. I didn't say yet. Why do you think that is? Because they're having the talk I'm having with you every single day in the White House. I guarantee it, if not every other day. Okay, we want to go in. We want to go in. How? What if the cops don't work with us? What if the cops are ordered not to work with us? What if they do go in? What if they go in tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. What if we show up for Ask Dr. Jesse Friday and a National Guard soldier has shot a black gangbanger in South Chicago? How's that going to play on the news? How do you think that's going to look? And keep in mind, Trump's worried about optics too, like everyone else. What are the optics of that? How's that play across the country? And so much worse. So much because maybe you shrugged your shoulders and said, I don't care. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't cry over the gangbanger. What if on Friday we show up and it's a National Guardsman? He's an accountant. He does this 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks out of the year. He's got a wife, 2 little babies. What if it's an accountant who wears a National Guard uniform laying dead on a Chicago sidewalk on the South Side? How's that play? I am not saying don't go. This is not me saying don't go. But I think this is a much more dangerous journey than people were making it out to be. I think in a world of easily consumed headlines, we see what happened in D.C. and we say, good, send them to Seattle. Nice, go to Portland next. Hey, how about Detroit? Got to clean that place up. Good, send in the troops. It's become a rallying cry that is very, very simple, like most rallying cries are. But like most things in life, it's much more complicated than a rallying cry. And I'm worried. I don't have another point to it. I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about a lot of other stuff. There's so much great stuff, bad stuff, all kinds of stuff to talk about. But I am concerned. And the day they walk in there, I will be concerned. And if we do fix it, there's benefit in that. What happens when they leave? Can't leave them there forever. I'm concerned.